That's what it seems like. So basically the gun has a lot more flinch by default, and then when you use the heavy stock or the combat stock to try to offset that, it's not giving you as much flinch resistance anymore.
Is it enough flinch now when you're being shot? Because one of the 100 problems with the HDR was yeah, you collect bags of black tar heroin for power-ups, but 10% of them have fentanyl in them, so you just die. You just pick it up and you immediately die. Oh man, that's good stuff. We are live, boys and girls. Welcome to the Dropshot Call of Duty podcast, episode number. My cousin died that way, by the way. Wasn't a model citizen, as you could guess, but episode number 518. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon. Today, I am joined by Tanner, and it's been a week.
That's what they're saying.
That is what they're saying. So, yeah, we are hitting the first, I would say, snag, roadblock, expected outcome of season 3, because we came out of the gate quite hot. Great update on launch. It had a couple issues, but I mean they were fixed really quickly, and then the game was quite playable, besides the HDR being too good, but that was a design choice. That's fine. In terms of how buggy the game was and how things were supposed to work, it was going quite well. And then we got season 3 Reloaded recently, which wasn't the best in terms of quality. And
That's what they're saying, yeah.
It has only gotten worse. So, and I hope that helps. So we're going to talk about all of that today. There are definitely some issues. We will have some announcements. Stick around for the end of the show if you're into that sort of thing. But for now, we're going to get right into it here. And there isn't too much to get into, but we do have some things. And we'll start with the patch notes. So, Season 3 Reloaded, we've received. And we have had, I believe it was 2? Oh, I guess just the one. One update since then. Fairly substantive. This was on Wednesday the 7th. So they start by saying live issues, server disconnects. We're actively investigating reports of some players encountering issues that may result in disconnects from Warzone matches following the Season 3 Reloaded update. They also write, we understand the frustration caused by ongoing server disconnects and want to clarify that these issues are not due to known malicious attacks or activity. Our studio teams are actively investigating the root cause, which shipped with Season 3 Reloaded, and will provide updates as soon as possible. Okay, I don't know if this is fixed or not, but this is kind of interesting because what was happening, okay, yeah, that's not surprising. What was happening to me was 2 days ago, before Ranked broke, I was queuing for Ranked, and I think literally half of my matches, the server just crashed. So we would drop loot, buy loadout, right about to get into a gunfight and have some fun, or right after we kill a team. And we're all set up, we have SR, we have fucking everything we need. Server dies. Got it. Next game goes fine, whatever. Game after that, same thing. It's not like right away. It's in the middle of the match. The server will just die. So this was happening all the time earlier this year on Urzikstan, particularly in Ranked, because people, cheaters, if they lost, they would just crash the server. And when that was happening, it was usually quite late into the game, because if you're a team of cheaters, you're probably not getting wiped super easily. So you're going to make it pretty far and then crash the server once you finally die in third place and ruin everyone else's time because they wasted all that time getting there. That was really, really bad. This isn't as bad, and I am a little surprised to see that it is not DDoSing that is the cause of this. But the crashing's happening.
Well, they're telling us, yeah.
Fucking, yeah, well, yeah, you're right. It's happening fucking often. I, for one, do believe this because, yeah, I think if it were hackers, like, crying, the crashes wouldn't happen until much later into the game, usually. And that's really not when they're happening. They're usually happening, like, second circle. So that's better in some sense because you're wasting less time. But also, what happened? Did you change the servers? Or did you just change the game? Obviously, I'm not a developer. I don't understand how game dev works. But it doesn't make any sense to me that if you put a new game or a new patch out there, that's going to impact, like, server stability. Were you patching the servers? I thought those were separate things. They may or may not be, I don't know, but, like, this is very odd. And I don't know if this is better or worse of a look for Activision, that it's not people DDoSing them. But it's happening really fucking often, and it's incredibly annoying, especially because it's a huge waste of time. Like, it's not fun, especially because how Warzone works is you have to wait a couple minutes until you're set up and, like, ready to fight. So all the boring shit is up front. So when I'm disconnecting in the second circle, it's just enough time for me to only be able to do the boring shit. And as soon as I start having some fun, see, a server's gone. And now I have to start over and go do the boring shit again. It's really ass. It's really bad. Really bad.
Yeah, I mean, they suck. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's certainly less embarrassing for them that it's not being done to hackers. I think. Yeah, I don't know. They're both equally bad. But yeah, they just can't ever figure this shit out. And the servers just suck, of course, too, besides that, hit reg and everything's still just awful, so.
Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah. That's all the same.
I think it was Tolar in our Discord was originally saying, like, is anyone having crashing issues? He's like, the server crashes like almost every single time I play quads. And that's what I kept hearing. That it was a lot of quads specifically. It was very bad. So yeah, what a way to just ruin somebody's night when they come home and just want to play a few games at night and then they just can't.
For real.
And again, if this continues for a couple weeks, see a player base once again. People are going to stop coming back to it when they just try to get on.
That's another thing too.
And it just keeps crashing.
Yep, 100%. That's another thing too, is like they did earn some goodwill with season 3. But
I think that's all gone, basically.
Like not a lot. Like they earned some. Like from me, I'll speak for myself. They earned some goodwill from me. Season 3 was really well done. It was way out of character, and I was again very surprised. It's a great update. So they did earn some goodwill from me, but like this is a bad look, and this shit just shouldn't be happening anymore. Especially once the game was fixed. That's the biggest point that bothers me. Because, like, the launch of BO6 integration into before Season 3, it was a nightmare the whole time. So every time there was an update, there was just too much. I was like, there's no way they fixed the game. They're too far behind. I'm not even expecting anything. So, like, it makes sense the game's a mess on Season 2, in Season 2 Reloaded. Like, yeah, obviously. Because, of course it is. Look where they started. But with Season 3, they had like a clean slate. It worked really well. So just don't fuck it up. That's it. But if you do, fine. Fix it quickly, though. And don't have bugs like this. Or issues like this. Because, yeah, you're going to burn through goodwill really quickly. And even me, like, I won't be that bothered if they fix this inside of this week. By like Monday. That's going to be late though, and they're not going to. So it's really going to be at the earliest this is fixed is like Tuesday. And that's going to already have been too long, honestly. And even if it doesn't bother the fuck out of me, I certainly don't want to play. Like, I like playing with my friends. So I'm going to play quads or trios, or I'm not going to play. But if every game crashes, I'm not going to play quads, obviously, or trios. And therefore, I just won't play. And I'm someone who wants to play. Imagine the people you got back barely by the skin of your teeth in season 3, and they were like, I guess I'll play some. It works perfectly. They're going to get on once, crash, and be like, okay, whatever. One more crash, they are fucking done. They are uninstalling. Exactly. They're already gone, in fact. They're gone. So, like, this is the problem, is they had Warzone in such shit shape for so long, and they drove so many players out, that they really have no room to breathe anymore. And if this were an isolated incident, fine. Like if Fortnite had this issue for a week, okay, whatever. They also did the Travis Scott concert, and the game generally worked for 8 years before. Like, it's fine. People aren't going to leave. But this game, with its track record, boy, do people remember. And they're just not going to give a fuck. So, I don't know, man. This is really bad stuff. Obviously, they didn't do it on purpose. And obviously, it's not the end of the world for people who are going to play anyway. Because they will fix this at some point.
Imagine they drop the player counts back to like 120.
Oh my God.
It's a...
Dude. I wonder if that's related, actually.
It's a player count problem.
Yeah, I wonder if that's related.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, I don't know, man. Again, for people who are actually going to play, regardless, like all of you, it doesn't really matter. They will fix it, like, by next week. I can't imagine it's not fixed by next week. But I'm just looking at it from their perspective. And this is way worse for them than for us, because casuals are the ones who are going to be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I also don't know if this is affecting like casual game modes, though, to be fair. Like, is this affecting the LTM? How many casuals play that as a proportion? Is this affecting like BR casual, the playlist? How many casuals play that? And if it's not, then maybe it isn't that big of a deal for them. I don't know.
Yeah. According to Danny in chat, casual never crashes for me while camo grinding, but regular Verdansk squads does.
Interesting. So, yeah.
Well, that's good, yeah, because everyone's just playing casual. Yeah. Dude, that mode seems so popular, by the way.
It's sad.
Like, I almost wouldn't be surprised if that almost has as many players as regular BR.
I'm not sure I'd be surprised either. I would have been surprised again
to see the numbers on that
before we did our season 3 episode. I would have been surprised before that. But the moment we recorded that, I'm no longer. That doesn't surprise me.
I just don't understand why a person wants to play against AI like that in a game like this in a BR. But I guess they exist. A lot of them.
Especially that AI. It's insane. Yeah. But anyway. Okay, so moving on from that, ranked play. Restock is replacing the fire sale in ranked play. So in ranked Warzone, which has its own issues we'll get into right now, one of the differences between ranked and regular pubs is there was a guaranteed fire sale at a specific time. I want to say it was like late second circle or something, early third circle. There was always a public event, and it was always a fire sale at always the exact same time in every ranked match. And that was interesting. We'll talk about it in a second. But Restock is going to be replacing that fire sale event. So it's going to be at the same time every match, etc. And here's what they say about it. We've been closely monitoring the economy since returning to Verdansk. With recent adjustments to the economy overall, specific strategies involving fire sale have become more dominant than intended. While additional tweaks are underway, we are replacing fire sale, with Restock as we gather data. And the Restock public event just means every chest gets reclosed and loot gets added to it. Our goal is to reduce the incentive of stockpiling cash and to encourage players to manage and spend it strategically throughout the match, especially in the mid to late game. I think this is fine. I think this is actually probably good. I was saying in the pre-show earlier to Jakin, he was like, I don't like the fire sale in ranked because it's too easy to get stuff. Like, it's fine. And I was like, well, I kind of like it because you still have to get to a buy to use it. So it's still like kind of dangerous, encourages gunfights around the buy stations. And so I think you could be rewarded, and because it's dangerous. But the more I think about it, and after having read this little blurb, I think this is probably better. I don't know if you necessarily even need the restock public event. Maybe no event at all is also fine. I don't really care. But not having fire sale, I think, is probably also good. It's probably actually better overall. Because as they say here, that probably is the strat. You just get a ton of money and just don't spend any of it until fire sale. Or you get like just enough money. Well, you get a ton of money, buy a UAV each, and then don't spend any more until fire sale. Pop an advanced. Find a safe buy that you know is safe because you have an advanced UAV up, and then you can buy everything you want. That would be really strong and also a really unfun way to play the game. But you're kind of forced to if fire sales are guaranteed. So I actually do like this because that does encourage boring gameplay. Like, that's overpowered maybe of a strategy, kind of, but you also need a lot of money to do it. But it's also not that hard to get money, especially the contract bonus shit. So that's one thing. But more than that, it's just boring to have to play that way. And like, that is probably the best way to play. So it's like, hey, take out the thing that's boring but good so that I'm not forced to do the boring thing. I like that. So I actually do like this. Yeah,
I think this is smart. It seems way too good having that guaranteed one every game. So this seems like a good thing. Yeah.
My original thought was like, fire sales are really good, but you still have to get to a buy and fight over it. But if you can pop an advanced UAV, you really don't. You like, one of you finds a UAV, the other two of you buy one, and then you just hold it till fire sale, pop an advanced, open your map. Okay, there's no one on this buy station. Let's go buy there. And then, you buy whatever you want. That is a little too strong. So I think this is cool. I think this is good. And then restock does help too, because a guaranteed restock means if you're kind of fucked, a lot more loot now on the map. So
exactly. Which this map needs, I think.
Yeah, true. Because it's more plates, ammo, money, whatever. And you can like go back to high value loot zones and get good shit. But it'll still be hot. So like, it still is a little dangerous. I think this is overall better. Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. So cool. Okay. So anyway, this is a moot point right now though. So keep that in mind. We'll get into it. Anyway, so weapon balance. I was not expecting weapon balance very soon. So let's see what they've done. The AMAX. Headshot multiplier, 1.6 to 1.35. Wow.
That's big.
That's fucking humongous, actually. Yeah. 1.35 is still respectable, by the way. I didn't know it was 1.6 before. That's nuts. That is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Wow. So, okay.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, man.
I can't believe that. Sprint to fire, 190 to 215 milliseconds. Not a huge deal on that. Although for like sniper support it is actually. And then ADS strafe speed, 3.2 to 3 meters per second. I don't have a grasp on how much of a nerf that is, but probably not too much. The sprint to fire and ADS move penalty or whatever nerfs are mostly for, I think, sniper support AMAX. Because I don't think that matters too much on your if you were using it as like a primary, but That headshot multiplier nerf probably stings a lot for the long range variant. Although it's probably still viable. Because, like, I don't think most people are relying on headshots when they're getting kills far away. I think they're just relying on body shots, and if they happen to sprinkle 1 or 2 in and get a 1 millisecond time to kill, they come. Yeah. But, like, it didn't need it, I don't think. So I don't know exactly how the math works out on this, but I like this nerf. I think this is fine. AMAX was a little too nuts, so I'll take this.
Yeah, and I think that was the big issue with it, is that when you started getting those headshots, that's what made it really, really good. So yeah, this makes sense for them to do. And it's smart they didn't touch anything else related to damage values besides the headshot multiplier. Yeah, exactly. Because that keeps it viable still. Like it still has, so this is good. I like that. I like that. I like that. And then the AK-74, maximum damage, 45 to 39. So how much damage you're doing in its first damage range as like a sniper support is now 45 to 39. This gun fucking sucks now. Period. There's no reason to use it. We're making this adjustment to give SMGs more room to shine in the close range, while keeping the AK as a great mid-long range option. That's the thing. It's not a great mid-long range option at all. It's just use the AMAX if you're going to use it that way. This is. I mean, this is, I'm fine with it, but I don't think anyone was using an AK as sniper support anyway. So like, why do this? Or as an SMG anymore? So I don't know. I don't really care, but just don't use the AK anymore, obviously. Yeah. As far as sniper support, I think AMAX is still probably your best one though. Well, there are some other weapon changes. So Krig C is the next one. Medium damage range 1. So I think that is second damage range. Increased from 32 to 33 meters. Okay, so that doesn't really matter that much. Headshot multi 1.2 to 1.35. So it's the same headshot multi as a nerfed AMAX is. Okay. Velocity 820 to 830 meters per second. That doesn't matter too much. ADS speed 260, now 280. So it aims down sight a little more slowly. And then the biggest one, which was its only problem really from the last time I looked at it, which was like during the Cypher meta, to be fair. Sustained fire recoil improved. Wow, the Krig's recoil was holding it back from being a viable option compared to other ARs. This change allows it to compete at longer ranges. I was watching some gameplay earlier, and yeah, it looks definitely usable as a long-range gun, because its problem before was exactly what they said. It just had too much weird bouncy recoil. It had that weird jitter feeling to it. Yeah. Yep. And like on paper, it was quite good actually. But like in practice, you were just missing too many shots. It was too awkward to control. It doesn't look that way anymore. So yeah, I don't know if this is for sure the meta yet, but that's what people seem to think. So try out the Krig, because it looks way easier to use now. And it did get some other buffs too, but that's definitely the big one. Another thing with the Krig also, instead of the 60 round mag, you get a 70 round mag. That's nice, actually. Like for Warzone, that's really nice. That extra 10 bullets can come in handy. So, we'll see how that goes. We'll keep you guys posted on that. I haven't gotten a chance to use it yet. So, next is SMG's C9. Max damage increased from 38 to 40. So in your first damage range, you're now doing 2 more damage. It brings it up to par with other SMGs. Okay, great. I don't think the C9 was terrible before, but now it's quite good. I mean, the C9, in my opinion, is the easiest, most comfortable gun SMG to use in the game right now. Like, bar none. It's just like, I don't know what it is about it. It's like its handling, its irons, its recoil, its fire rate. It's just very easy to use. A lot of people feel that way also.
and it getting a buff is nice. I don't think this makes it like absolute meta necessarily. I think people are still using the Ladra, which is the new SMG. That still seems to be the meta gun, but you know, maybe it gets nerfed or whatever. The thing with SMGs, this has been a trend since the BO6 integration, is there are a couple viable options. That's probably still true. It's just been a double AR meta for so long that we kind of forgot. But I imagine you can get away with a C9, you can get away with a Ladra, you can get away with a Compact, you can get away with a PPSH. Probably get away with all of those, honestly. Not 100% on that though, but the prevailing dominant gun right now is definitely the Ladra, which is also fun to use, so I'd recommend that. And then another last balance change, snipers. No. Could it be? HDR? No. Could it be? Flinch resistance reduced by 60% just across the board. Oh. I think. I don't understand how to take that. Okay, here's what it says. Bullet point. Flinch resistance reduced by 60%. Bullet point attachments, sub bullet, heavy stock, giga sub bullet. Flinch resistance reduced from 60 to 35%. Sub bullet combat stock, giga sub bullet, flinch resistance reduced from 25 to 15%. So what this reads like to me is that it has 60% more flinch with no attachments. And then also with the heavy stock, it has 25% more flinch than it used to on top of that. And then the combat stock 10% more on top of that. Is that what this looks like to you?
That's what it seems like. So basically the gun has a lot more flinch by default. And then when you use the heavy stock or the combat stock to try to offset that, it's not giving you as much flinch resistance anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So those aren't going to help you as much. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like to me.
This is a start. This is a start. Fuck, is this a start? Is it enough flinch resistance? Or enough flinch now when you're being shot? Because one of the 100 problems with the HDR was, even if you start getting shots on the guy, they're just going to headshot you directly through it because it didn't have enough flinch, or it didn't have enough flinch that mattered or something. I don't really know how it worked. All I know is I was getting sniped anyway, even if I'm mag dumping the guy. So if it has more flinch, a lot more, which is what it sounds like, I shouldn't be getting headshotted when I'm beaming a guy anymore. If that's true, this is a great start. Is it enough? Probably not. Still has way too little idle sway and way too much body damage, for example. But if you can at least finally counter it now by shooting back, that's going to make the game a lot better and more fun. But I don't know. I don't think this is exactly enough, because a lot of times you get sniped to someone you don't know is there who is not flinching at all. So it doesn't matter. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is only going to matter in those certain situations where you are also getting shot, which happens, and you know you've talked about that a lot too. How everybody always hits their shot, so maybe that guy that always hits his shot will only hit 70% of his shots now when you're hitting him. You know,
right? Exactly. Yeah, yeah. It's something. I'm glad to see this.
It's something,
because the first nerf to it, to the aim down sight speed alone, it just didn't matter at all. Like, obviously and immediately that was clear. But this actually probably does for certain scenarios, which is a really good start. So that's good.
Yeah.
And then some bug fixes were the last thing. Nothing super relevant here. And that's, fix an issue preventing the Jack Slash from appearing in the gunsmith. Cope was complaining about that. I guess it was a bug.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. So this was, again, yesterday. However, that does not tell the whole story of the patch notes or changes that have happened this week. We have some tweets. One of them is this: we fixed an issue causing players to drop custom loadout weapons during the pre-match lobby. So we talked about this. There was some way you, I don't know, meleeed the air 3 times, did a spray, twirled twice, and then dropped your controller, and you would drop your custom loadout weapons on the ground, and you can just go pick them up once the match started. That's now fixed. That does seem to actually be fixed. This is good, although this is good. That's fine. But there's some other tweets. This was yesterday. We understand the frustration. This is from @COD Updates, by the way. We understand the frustration caused by ongoing server crashes and want to clarify that these issues are not due to malicious attacks. Oh, this is exactly what they said in the patch notes. My bad. Yeah. And then there was one more also yesterday. With ongoing investigations into the server disconnects, as well as a recent rise in players not being properly awarded SR, we have made the decision to disable ranked Warzone. The playlist will be updating shortly to reflect this. We apologize and thank you for your patience. So that's another big thing that's been happening. Big in some circles anyway. A lot of you just don't play ranked, based, and smart.
Nobody plays ranked, yeah.
But yeah, for those of you who do, there was some bug where people just didn't get SR. So let me be clear. What this doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that your SR wasn't changing. That's not true at all. So for example, if you're Diamond 1 and you queue in and you get wiped immediately, you would lose 35 SR or whatever it was your deployment fee is. That would happen. So your SR would change. The problem is, if you were going to gain SR, or especially a lot of SR, you actually wouldn't gain any, and I hope that helps. Why? This is a very weird bug that I've never seen before. We have seen like SR bugs where like, I don't know. I think the most recent one was you would get the right amount of SR, but it just didn't show it in game. Like the in-game number would just be fake. So say like, oh, you're at like +5 SR, but you'd actually be at +70. But then when you left the game, it actually reflected it, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sure we've seen other ones that I can't think of right now.
It's been bugged often, it seems like. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it has. That I can only think of that one, but I've never seen where you can lose SR, but you can't gain any. I think you also could have gained some, by the way, but once you got like top 10, you no longer earned SR or something. Yeah. So it's like the people who earned the most, of course, got the most punished.
Which they
funny,
deserve. For gaining that much SR in Warzone ranked in 2025. Yeah, you deserve to lose all of it, actually. So,
and I also
there were a lot of angry tweets about this. People are real mad about their SR out there.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So that's actually kind of crazy. And again, this isn't that big of a deal, especially for ranked, because those people are gonna play regardless. So you can fuck them over all you want, I guess. But this is pretty funny.
Yeah.
And if they fix it soon, again, not a big deal. Like, whatever. If
they fix it soon, yeah.
That's the thing, though, yeah. But I actually do have confidence they will fix this soon.
Yeah.
Because the bigger problem, honestly, again, is like, if you can gain and lose SR, like, fine. That's probably good for your ranked mode to, like, be able to progress in it. But I wouldn't be playing ranked right now anyway because of all the server disconnects. So, like, turning off the playlist is fine. You can't gain SR. Even if you could, you're going to crash in literally half your games.
Yeah. Or get hacked the fuck on, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
they're
the
gonna do the
problem
classic. They
Yeah.
disable, and it's gonna be like one of those guns where everybody forgets about it, and they're just never gonna enable it again. So ranked is just gone forever, guys. Yeah, I hate to break it to you.
Yeah.
They're never bringing it back.
Fuck, have they done that before? Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing too, is like, if they kept it in, you'd be able to queue up and die before the server is gonna crash anyway, in which case you lose SR. But then if you don't die, you last just long enough for the server to crash, and then you gain no SR. So you can either lose SR or gain 0. That was like the best case scenario. Yeah. It was just super not worth playing, obviously. So yeah, I mean, it's so dumb. It's good that they disabled it, but like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's something. So
yeah.
And then that's pretty much it. So a couple things before we move on to announcements. First of all, for Saturday, I did want to talk about ranked Warzone, because I have played a little bit before they took it out, before it broke. And I was going to play quite a bit more before Saturday and kind of do an ep talking about it. Because I think, again, I've said this a lot, but whether you play like ranked or not, I think episodes and content that we do about ranked can be helpful, because everything we would say there pretty much is going to apply to pubs Warzone if you care to, like, be optimal or whatever. So I know that not most of you play fucking ranked, but still some of you do, and could be interesting, maybe get you in there. However, since we can't, I'm not sure we're going to do that on Saturday. We're probably not, actually. So if you guys want a ranked episode, let us know. If you expressly do not want a ranked episode and you want us to do something else, also let us know that. Whatever that is, we'll probably do it next Saturday, not this Saturday, regardless. But in the meantime, I'll talk a little bit about ranked right now, insofar as I've played it. So once they bring it back, what is it going to be like? Well, exactly as I expected. A lot of people still snipe in ranked. And it's still pretty fucking ratty and not super fun. Now, this is early preliminary thoughts, and I also crashed in the other half of my games. So I wasn't having a great time regardless, but even the games where we did pretty well, it was like, okay, land train, which is one of the high value loot zones, clear it, loot a ton of money, get a bunch of contracts, buy loadout, buy an advanced UAV, grab some choppers, kill a straggler here and there, do a recon or two, go to another buy at fire sale. We know it's safe because we have an advanced UAV up. Buy whatever we want. So we bought self-res, gas mask, another loadout, boxes, and more UAVs, and like a PA. And then, okay, we know where zone is. Go to the zone and then sit there. So then we sit there for, I'm not kidding, like 4 minutes. So you might be thinking, like, that's not even 5 minutes. It's not a long time. It is in Warzone. It was boring as fuck. So 4 minutes, just kind of chilling there. But it's like kind of the smart thing to do. And then eventually, we're in the like 4th circle. So we have no further intel now. So all of a sudden, it goes from nothing's happening to everything's happening. 1 million teams, all pushing in. Again, we kill a straggler here and there. Eventually, I'm looking at some guys, and some other guys, wouldn't you know it, are looking at me from an area I don't know they're there, and I can't see them. And they were ghosted, of course. We didn't pop another advanced. I think that was probably our big problem, is Cope or Jake got like a PA, and then the other one got a UAV, and I got a UAV. It would have been really nice to have another advanced in this scenario. but we didn't because we only had 2 UAVs. So someone dropped the ball, one of you. Because it was too early to not have another advance. We were going to have to rotate out of there. So obviously though, but that's fine. We all make mistakes. So I don't know those guys are there because they're ghosted. And we didn't have an advance up. We had 1 UAV up. So cool. All of a sudden I'm fine. And then I'm instantly dead with a PA noti on my screen. Or excuse me, I'm down with a PA noti on my screen. It happened like that. I was like, it was like crazy. It was so fast. So then I'm trying to get the self off. I don't. I mean, they called the PA. So then I looked at the kill cam and what happened. The guy was just hard scoping, waiting for his teammates with his HDR. And then as soon as he pulls the trigger, his teammate starts shooting me with an AR. So he does 299 instead of 300. Big nerf, by the way. I'm immediately down, just as if I've been sniped.
Shit on.
Their third teammate called the PA at the same time.
That's so based.
I saw all of it in the kill cam. So then I'm just fucking dead. And then all of a sudden, it kicks off. So then, like, those guys don't push, by the way. I don't think. It might have been them. Some other group of 3 people or those 3 people are all of a sudden just pushing Cope, 3v1 him, and then Jake, like, I think kills 1, barely rotates out, and then it's just a shit rotate. It's a mess. It's a disaster. He has a PA. It doesn't do anything. Oh, it was Jake that didn't have the UAV. Got it. So he has a PA, which is now useless, and then he dies, of course, because he's one guy. He has to make a rotate like through fucking boner. It's just chalked. So then the game ends. And like that was not fun. That was not a fun game for me. So could I have played better? Obviously, of course. Well, I shouldn't have gotten sniped. I should have been moving my character more than I was. I was doing like, I don't know, little mini circles. I should have been doing big ellipses, whatever.
Yeah.
I also probably just shouldn't have been like on that roof for as long as I was, but whatever. But the big problem for me there is like, again, yeah, we all could have played better. Obviously, there's always something else you could do. But we did mostly the right thing up until that point, and it was boring as fuck. That's my problem with ranked. Is like, it's actually just not that fun for me right now. Now, again, I only got to actually play, I'm not kidding, like 3 matches. I was on for hours, like Wednesday, or I don't know what day it was. My schedule has been weird this week. But yeah, I played for like 3 hours, and I got like 2 or 3 matches in, because like half the lobbies were crashing. And then anyway, yeah. So like I haven't played that much, to be fair, but boy, all the games where we did pretty well, like, not that fun. There was another game we did pretty well. We landed, we eventually like made it to like top prison. We were forced there. Circle was going there. And then that actually was going to be like a fun little end game, but some guy is just so deep in the gas, runs through and kills us. And it's like, God damn it, man. And that was, again, like, that was probably on us, but like, the thing is, to me, that would have been a fun game though, I think. But we died, so it wasn't that fun. But it's basically, ranked is very backloaded in terms of like the fun you're gonna have. So if your problem with if you're like, I like Resurgence because Warzone is too slow, because I have to like loot up and buy a loadout before I can go kill shit. Boy, will you fucking hate ranked Warzone then. Because imagine instead of having to just do that, there's like 100 more steps before the gunfighting can happen. And that's really what ranked is like. Like, it's a lot of just upfront, boring prep work bullshit. That's not fun. Like, it's not fun to loot up and buy a loadout. It's not fun to do recons or not do recons, whatever. It's even if you don't do recons, it's not fun to just not push things and just play in safe buildings and then go to the safe vehicle and then make the other safe rotate to the other safe building. And you're going to be forced into gunfights every once in a while doing that. And that is going to be fun. But the point is that the optimal plays are just not the fun ones. They're the ones where you don't get in gunfights. You just get in like a super strong position and let people come to you and like play for placement. Obviously, if I were fucking Aiden, this would be different and I wouldn't play this way. I wouldn't need to. I could just go push everyone and kill everything. But with the time to kill being this fast, no silencer meta, snipers being as good as they are, and as many buildings as there are, and as few regain mechanics as there are, you can't really just go push shit unless you are the best in the world. If you like care about your rating at all, which I really don't right now, but the people I play with do. So I'm not gonna throw because I'm bored. I want, by the way, also, there were probably, I'm not joking, 7 occasions where I thought I was really close to being like, fuck it, I'm pushing. I don't care. I'm bored. I'm pushing. And then I was like, nope, you know what? Let me be a good friend. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to chill here. But I came so close so many times to just fucking sabotaging it for the team because I was fucking bored. And that's kind of my problem with ranked right now. If I played more and thought about it more, I would have better thoughts on this, obviously. This has been kind of like a ramble, but we did advocate for removing all the regain cheese bullshit that we railed against for so long, like the redeploy tokens, flares, fucking go agains, redeploy packs, all that shit. We didn't want that portable buy stations, and I'm sure more. Like, there were so many ways to regain in ranked of season 2 on Urzikstan, where you really could be just okay and you could push it and go get kills. Because if you died, it's fine. You guys might get wiped, but you can reasonably enough regain, especially early on, to where you're not super punished super hard for playing a little aggressively. But the way the game is now, without all that cheese, if you drop in and you have a bad drop and you guys get wiped, 2 of you win gulag, 1 of you loses, you buy him back, cool. All 3 of you are back, you're behind on time, so you're definitely behind on money, you're probably behind on loadout. And also, if you guys all die again, the game is over. If you're in that situation, which is quite common, by the way, like you die off rip, you can't afford to play aggressively. Like, you really can't. Unless you just truly don't give a fuck, which is fine, but then go play pubs and then do that, because then it's just more fun there anyway. People move their characters more. So I still think it was good to remove all the regain cheese bullshit, but it's less fun than I was hoping playing ranked. And I think you know what it all comes down to, honestly, is the time to kill. If the time to kill was unnerfed, then you could actually bail yourself out of a situation. Whereas right now, you just get instantly fried. I think that's what it all comes down to. That's still just the most frustrating
part of the game is the time to kill easily.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that lines up. That makes sense. Yeah, it just in so many situations, it just feels like you can't react whatsoever. So
yeah, especially with the coordinated shooting shit that people do.
Yep.
Which is smart to do, but it's just so boring.
Smart. You just don't expect people to actually do it, but there are people that do.
We did it once, and the guy disintegrated. It wasn't fun for him. He didn't know we were there. He had to make the cross. He did. And we just 3, 2, 1, guy in the middle, go. Dead. Instantly dead. And it's okay, that guy had fun. There was literally nothing that guy could have done. I guess they could have had more smokes. I don't know. But and then that happened to me with the sniper. I got 3, 2, 1, except instead of 3 full auto rifles, it was 150 cal, 1 full auto rifle, and 1 twin gun. So, which is of course a precision airstrike. So that was just not fun. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of, I was very disappointed. Again, I only played for like one session, so let me be clear. I'm gonna play more, and if you guys want an episode, we'll do that. If you don't want one, we won't do it. But I'm gonna play more regardless. Have clearer thoughts, but it's just not as fun as I was hoping. And I'm not saying I want the regain cheese back, because I don't. I think that's bad. But be careful what you ask for, wish for, whatever. Might be something to that, honestly. Because ranked is fucking pretty boring. If you're playing.
You just have to keep in mind too, every single time ranked comes out, we've gotten excited, and every single time, 100% of the time, literally, it's been a huge letdown. So I think that's on brand.
True.
It's never been enjoyable one time in Warzone. So I think
it was mostly because of cheaters that was the case. And I will say this. I didn't run into any like super obvious cheaters that I remember. Maybe we did actually run into one or two, but it wasn't like too many. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. Yeah, this was like my first time on, so I was bronze,
okay.
But they were like plat something.
Yeah, I've heard it's like just completely infested.
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah.
That's what I've seen from tweets, at least. It's like every single game already you're running into obvious cheaters.
Yeah, I believe that. So yeah, I mean, yeah, this could all very well be a super moot point, and it probably is. You're probably right. If it's just infested with cheaters, and like, who cares anyway? But it's always fun. I've liked ranked quite a bit in past versions before the cheaters happen, just because I'm a stupid ape, and it's like, oh, number go up, they're on fire, yeah. Dopamine, fun. It's like a average COD retard. For that reason, I've enjoyed it. But I thought without all the regain cheese and shit, it would actually be more fun. You have to make like smart rotates and shit, but you really don't. You just get into the center zone and then just camp. Like, that's just the smart play, and try to take pot shots at people from a good power spot, and like, it's, you know, you'll do pretty well, and it's just not that fun. I don't know. The fire sale thing being removed, is probably going to help with that, though. But it won't help with people just doing recons. Like, I just don't see a compelling reason not to do a bunch of recons every game and get into like the 5th circle in a power position. I really just don't see a reason to do that. I guess the reason would be, if you're Crimson, your SR deployment fee, whatever, is too high. You like have to get kills. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. That's why I'm saying these are early thoughts, and like, don't take this as my, final answer, because it's not. But yeah. But those are my preliminary thoughts. So anyway, I don't know. What do you guys think of ranked? If any of you are playing it, let me know. But my experience has been like, fuck, is it campy? This is not to mention, by the way, I've been complaining about how we played. It's boring, but it's the smartest, most like SR rewarding way to play. So you kind of should play the way we did, or roughly the way we did. Obviously, we could have done it better. But that's to say nothing about how other people play, which is the same, ratty as fuck. Like, no one moves, dude. Imagine, for those of you who have not played ranked, imagine you land train station, okay? High value loot zone. Imagine no one landed there with you. And imagine you loot the whole thing and pop a UAV, and no one the entire match yet in 3 minutes has come to train station or the buy there. That happened 2 games in a row to us. We just were alone at train. Can you imagine that happening in pubs? Of course not, because it's a high value loot zone and people want loot. But in ranked, everyone's pussy. So they're like, oh, it's a high value loot zone. It's going to be hot. I'm not landing there. Everyone thinks that, so no one lands there. So then we're alone there. Cool, easy loadout, whatever. But the fact that no one's landing at a high value loot zone goes to show you how pussy everyone is in ranked. And it's fucking boring. That's another thing, is like, oh, that's how I play pubs, is I go to the power position and then take pot shots and shoot down at people, and it's really fun. That is really fun. when people are coming to you ever and moving, but they don't move in ranked. No one's moving. So that's like that's the idea. That's the plan. That's the hope. But in reality, what you're doing is you're going to the next power position and then lighting incense and praying to whoever that people are going to come to you, and they won't. It just, no one moves. So you don't actually get to get kills that way. And then it becomes extremely boring. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the devs' fault. I don't really think it is, other than the time to kill and recons and the map. Yeah. Part of it's the map too.
Harder to traverse the map. Of course, people aren't going to move as often. They're not just hitting balloons constantly to cross the map, so they're scared to run in the open. And then, the time to kill. It's just a combination of all those things.
Yeah. Yeah. So
they did not fix the plate bug. No, you still played up 4 times.
That's another bug.
Somehow
was really bad.
Hot fixed immediately. Yeah. So
yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you for saying so. Or I thought I wrote that down. Excuse me. There's also been a bug where, since Season 3 Reloaded, where you have to do the plate animation like 1 extra time. Oh, I did talk about this earlier, or in a different episode. That is still not fixed. So that's also really bad and not fun. As soon as you notice it, it's going to bother you a lot. Yeah. That also slows the game down a tremendous amount, by the way. I have to spend more time in that dumb animation. So yeah, no, they haven't fixed that, and they haven't said anything on it either. So that one's a little concerning, but we'll see. So all in all, Season 3 Reloaded, the update to the update, we are right back on track. It's looking just like the Activision we know and love from any time ever other than specifically the launch of Season 3. That's it. So I've got it. So anyway, GTA 6 is also coming out. Did you see the second trailer?
Yeah, in a year. Dude, the map looks so dope, man. Just the visuals. Ooh, the world looks so cool. Fuck, man. I'm excited.
So did they delay it again and put out the trailer? I haven't paid too much attention, but you can't avoid
that's the
GTA
thing is
stuff.
they keep, it's like everything, I don't know either. Is like they said it was delayed, and then they gave a date of like March of next year, I think, something like that.
Okay.
But I don't think they ever put out a release date before that. So they're telling us it's delayed, but nobody really knows what the release date was. Maybe they said at some point, though, it was coming out this year. Maybe that's what it was. So now it's basically just delayed till next year. But yeah, the world looks fucking wild, man. Looks so cool.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm excited.
Yeah, that'll be a crazy game for sure.
Yeah.
I haven't played a Grand Theft Auto game in like 20 years. I loved the fuck out of Vice City, though.
Vice City had that nice vibe to it. Yeah, the map.
Yeah.
That's what this reminds me of, a lot of the areas. So, well, I think it is. I think a lot of it is like, some of it, I think Vice City is in it. I don't know. I don't know.
It looks like it's like Miami themed, kind of. Yeah.
I think so. Because there's like a swamp area too.
Yes, of course.
That's a swamp.
That's a swamp. So anyway. All right. Well, that's pretty much it for today. We do have some announcements. First and foremost, welcome to our new gold patron, Sierra 4 and Fumbi A.
That's fake.
That is quite the name. I don't even know what that is. Yeah.
I don't know either.
Somewhere in the Caucasus region is my guess. So Fumbi, let us know where you're from. Or where that name is from, I should say. And Sierra, and to both of you, welcome, our newest gold patrons. Very much appreciated. Also, Oscar D, with another fake last name, has upgraded to Platinum. Based. Good shit, Oscar. Patreon.com/Dropshot. We just did our latest bonus ep, which was a really good Q&A, actually. We went for a long time, and it was fun. And some people got mad at our food takes, which amuses me.
Some people are mad we like one type of food better than another type of food, yeah.
Or that we don't
upset
just
some people.
settle for Domino's pizza sausage and want good sausage. Yeah. It's completely insane, obviously.
Yeah, I don't get why people argue about pizza.
Yeah. So anyway, whatever. It was fun. It was a good episode. So if you want to get in on that, patreon.com/Dropshot. We do whatever bonus eps every month. We do early access and ad free on the public episodes like this one. And it's the best way to support the show. So if you're into that, once again, patreon.com/thedropshot. Thank you again, Sierra, Fumby, and most importantly, Oscar. That is it. We'll be back Saturday. We will figure it out. Let us know what you guys want as far as like the rank thing or not. Unlikely either way for this Saturday, but for next Saturday. Activision devs do not play their own game.
Yeah.